I have Morris with me again, and Morris usually brings more than one book, and today he has another special one. This is about an animal you often think of in the autumn, so I'm going to reach down in his bag and pull out the book. Oh, Morris. This book is Little Tom Turkey by Frances Bloxom, illustrated by Jim Sollers. When little Tom hatched from a beautiful egg, the first thing he saw was his mother's long leg. He came out of his shell quite soggy and wet. What he would look like, you couldn't tell yet. Hen Turkey settled back down on her nest and cuddled her hatchlings close to her breast. Mother Hen's feathers were fluffy and soft, so Tom snoozed for a bit while his feathers dried off. There were 9 older hatchlings close to the nest, and little Tom wobbled out and stood with the rest. Mother Hen called them and said to her brood, "Now you all need a lesson in how to get food. Watch what I do and scratch with your feet. You'll find some nice bugs and seeds you can eat. Scratch little turkeys and look for a treat." Tom scratched, and it really felt good to his feet. It took a few tries to get things just right, but soon he was scratching from morning till night. So then he ate bugs and seeds with such vigor it filled him right up and made him grow bigger. The hen took the flock to the edge of the woods. Close to the meadow she stopped and she stood. Little Tom looked ahead. In front of his eyes was a marvelous turkey of remarkable size. His feathers just glistened and shone in the light. Never had little Tom seen such a sight. His elegant head was red, white, and blue. This bird had a beard and handsome spurs too. Then Big Gobbler did what gobblers do best. He pulled back his head and puffed out his chest. He fanned out his tail and slow marched with his feet and strutted right by without missing a beat. A wonderful gobbler, a turkey supreme. To strut just like him was little Tom's dream. Oh, how I would love to do that same thing, to fluff out my feathers and strut like a king. So then little Tom stretched up quite tall and tried hard to strut, but he was just too small. His balance was off, he tripped over his feet, his tail was too short, and he fell on his beak. And then the hen called her little poults back to her side, and she gave him some lessons on how to survive. You must be wary, you must be fast, you must watch out if you're going to last. Beware of the coyote, beware the fox. Enemies lurk behind trees and big rocks. Now flap your wings and try hard to fly. Flying decides if you live or you die. Everyone flapped, but no one took off. They were too young with wing feathers too soft. And all through the summer, as he ate and he grew, Tom practiced his flying and tried strutting too. He pulled back his head, but his chest wouldn't puff. His tail wouldn't spread. It was really tough. And on a day when the flock was pecking and scratching, they all felt quite safe. But someone was watching. A fox who was hungry thought they would taste good, and he crept slowly forward out of the wood. Run, little ones! There's a fox over there! Run as fast as you can! There's no time to spare! All the poults ran as fast as they could. They hoped to be safe in the midst of the woods. The fox was so close that Tom plainly could hear the snap of fox jaws right on his rear. I'd better get going, or I have a hunch I could end this day as this red fellow's lunch. Tom ran, but the fox was right on his tail. Tom gave a big leap, and he started to sail. Oh, his wings really worked. He had power to spare. What a wonderful feeling to soar through the air. Tom's landing was off. Too much wobble and flutter. But I got away, and next time I'll do better. Now that I'm flying, perhaps it's true that I'm ready for strutting. I'll try that out too. Well, once again, little Tom tried out his strut, hoping this time not to fall on his butt. He fluffed up his feathers and threw out his chest. He flopped down his wings and he gave it his best. He spread out his tail. He got his legs into gear. But alas, he still ended up right on his rear. Then winter came. The meadows were brown. The flock searched for food, and the snow drifted down. The winter was cold, and the winter was long. Though he didn't know it, young Tom had grown strong. Winter did end, and the meadow turned green. The bugs, leaves, and berries were once again seen. One warm spring morning, young Tom flew down from his roost in a tree to sunbathe on the ground. He went to the brook and bent over to drink, and what he saw in the water caused him to blink. He stood there amazed at the turkey reflected. The image he saw was not what he expected. No more little Tom, now a gobbler of size. The way he had changed came as quite a surprise. His feathers just glistened. There were spurs on his feet, and he had a beard, his gobbler complete. His elegant head was red, white, and blue. He was totally gobbler, handsome and new. Then the new gobbler did what gobblers does best. He pulled back his head and he puffed out his chest. He fanned out his tail and he slow marched with his feet, and he strutted right by without missing a beat. He strutted a strut that was fit for a king, a strut of perfection of head, tail, and wing. Oh, wonderful gobbler! Oh, turkey supreme! At last, young Tom Turkey was living his dream.